Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Sunday night again. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was just finishing something and it is time for another live stream. Now, I hope you are all well. Hopefully the audio is working. Looks okay on my side, so hopefully it is. I'm on this mic today. Which one am I on? Let me just have a look. We're on this one. We're on the main one today. So, hello everyone. I hope you are all well. Now, first of all, before we do anything, I am just going to get into the chat when I find my mouse pointer. Where is it? There it is. Oh, I can hear a noise. That's my charger discharging a battery because it has been raining all day again. But it has been shocking. Good evening, Failsafe. How are you, my friend? Good evening, Matthew Clark. Hi, hey, hey. Dennis. June, James Who. How are you, my friend? Kimbo. Extra Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Is this a Joshua Bardwell stream? No. You want to go over there for a proper YouTuber. You're not getting it here. Tex-Mech. This is Tex-Mech? Matt's Tex-Mech. I like Tex-Mech. I might rename the channel Tex-Mech. Tech Mads. Yeah, definitely mad. If you've seen some of the videos I've recorded and not put out, you'd definitely say I was mad. But yes, hello everyone. Carl B, Sonic Tonic, howdy. David Martin Gaff, good afternoon. FPV Gizmo, hi, how are you, my friend? Hello, Sean, how are you? You're lost, you're in the wrong place once again. I've had hardly any time to fly in the last 24 hours. To give you guys an idea, 5 videos have got either recorded and completed or completed in the last 24 hours. And I'll be honest, 4 of them were probably started and finished in the last 24 hours. Can't say why, but yeah, there's been a lot to do. Hope everyone is safe and well. I hope everyone is good. Now, tonight, we're going to talk a bit about these. I have a new set of V2 goggles. Well, they're not you. I bought them used. They're fine. Thank you, whoever you are who sold them to me. I really appreciate it. They're in good nick. They work as they should. I can't find anything wrong with them. But I actually have a set of V2s again. So now I have a set of V1s, V2s, and Goggle 2s. I actually had a very good deal on these. I managed to win them on eBay. And yeah, can't not complain whatsoever about the deal I got on these goggles. In fact, when I sold my FPV drone, the price I sold that for back then and then buying these, I've definitely come out on top. Put it that way. So if I'd have just sold the FPV drone on its own. Although what I wouldn't have come out on top of as a result of having to rebuy the FPV remote. Because I ended up selling the FPV drone remote and goggles too, and I've ended buying back a brand new FPV remote too for the Avata and these. So there is some irony here that I probably should have just sold the bloody aircraft and I'd have probably been better off. But yeah, the brand new set of V2, well, not brand new, used set of V2s. Haven't touched them yet, haven't modified them. I've got to transfer everything over to them from my V1s, which are, where are my V1s? They're up here. I could do with another fat strap. iFlight, if you're listening. I'd like another fat strap. I'll have to order one. Antennas is interesting. And I might be putting a set of 5 gigahertz patch antennas on these. Not dual band patch antennas. But you may have to wait and find out why. Aren't I early this evening? We're back at the normal time as a result of the UK daylight saving changes. But yeah, we might be putting I got to look at what antennas I'm going to put on the V2s. Not necessarily. Why would I lose range with 5 gig only antennas on the V2? Start asking yourself, why would he put 5 gig antennas only on the V2? You'll have to wait and find out for the answer to that one. The Avata is dual band, but I'll use the goggles too for that. But there is some things people will need to understand how other things work. 03 on the Avata is dual band, as is the spec that has been leaked via the FCC filings for what is apparently the 03A unit. That's dual band. But is it dual band all of the time? That is the question. More to come. Anyways, so I got a nice set of V2s. They work exactly. They work exactly the same as the other ones did. Interesting times ahead, everyone. And it's been an interesting week. Why have I changed my stream time? I'm streaming at my normal time. 9 p.m. UK used to be 10 p.m. UK, but we've changed because the UK moved into daylight saving. So I should be in the US at exactly the same time. Now, for Europe, things might be a little bit complicated. I am at 9 p.m. in the UK time. We have come forward in the UK, but that is as a result of the UK daylight saving. Technically, I'm exactly the same time from a US point. In fact, I'm technically exactly the same time as I was before. 4 p.m. here in Idaho. I should be exactly the same as I've always been. Nothing should have changed on my time. I could go back to 10 p.m. UK, but that makes it later in the US. That would make it an hour later. Unless, does the US have daylight saving as well then? I don't know. I didn't think the US did have daylight saving. Oh, does it? Ah. Right. This is last week's stream because of our props. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Perhaps we go ahead half an hour. 2 weeks after you. They do have it, but it changes on different days, lol. Oh, God, right. We're in the mess. Well, I do apologize up front to our friend over on the other stream. He is an amazing channel if he's still running. I didn't realize we were on overlap. Perhaps we go halfway. It's 23:10 here in Alpha. So anyway, we are live. Siati, apologies, my friend, if you're hearing. Please do pass my apologies. The UK daylight thing has moved around. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk a bit about the digital revolution that's happening. Now, I spoke about this in the video I put out the other day. Siati. Now, there is a lot going on in the digital work now. Hello, Wes. How are you? There is a huge amount going on in the digital world right now, and it really is the digital free-for-all. And it's raised a lot of questions because we have the original DJI system. We know 03 is coming. The FCC leaks are out there. The FCC leaks are out there. We've got new system coming sort of from HdZero. You know, you can sort of call it new. HdZero, 1080p modes, all of that stuff. And then we have Avatar. And then we may have a system from Orqa. Sorry, I had to put a joke in there. I'm sorry, I apologize. My bad. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. So we're going to have 4 systems, right? That's where we're going to be at. And it's going to be interesting. It's really the glass display cabinet FPV system. I sorry the guys over Orqa, Ivan and guys, you make some good products. I couldn't help hitting you with the stick. There's a reason DJI won't work with me. There's a reason many manufacturers won't work with me. But yes, so we have 4 systems, and it's going to be super interesting. And it begs a lot of talk. You know, is there a market in FPV for 4 systems? Let's just say 3 systems. Is there really a market for 3 systems in FPV? Genuinely, I don't know. But the person who wins here is us. And I will say this, right? I have given Cadex a lot of crap over the years. I have given Cadex a huge amount of noise. Cadex whiz canvas mode for DJI. They lied to us. They didn't lie to us. They split from DJI, all of the noise. And look, I'm not going to sit here for one moment and defend Cadex, because some of the stuff they pulled in that launch was madness. However, I think the best thing to happen in FPV for quite some time was Cadex walking away from DJI. Because I can tell you now, that 3-letter company would not have the focus they have today, I don't think, than if it wasn't for that system. The whispers and rumours of backwards compatibility coming on the goggles too for the ear units, that isn't going to happen in the next week. Don't expect whatever launches, battery's flat, whatever launches to have backwards compatibility on the goggles too. It's not happening yet. That's something in the future. We know from the images that have been shared online they're working on it. What I can tell you is you're not going to have that in the next 2 weeks, okay? But they're working on it. I don't think for 1 minute they would be working on it if it wasn't for Avatar HD. I genuinely don't. So I think Cadex splitting off has genuinely been a fantastic thing for users, and it is driving everyone forward. You're going to have high-end and low-end goggles for everyone on every system. You know, if we look at HdZero goggles at the high end, you're going to have these new Emax goggles at the low end. Let's put them up if you haven't seen. Emax have announced that they're releasing a HdZero goggle, which is a box goggle, which also acts as a display. I don't know if it's got HDMI input. I hope it has, but it looks like it might have something down there. We've got the Scouts, which basically are no longer available from Fatshark, but we're going to then potentially have another goggle from another manufacturer as well in the near future, I hear, on the grapevine, maybe. So you're going to have a high end and a low end for the HdZero system. For DJI, we're going to have the high-end goggles too, and the V2s as sort of the low end. And I reckon DJI will keep the V2s around. I firmly believe the V2s will be kept around for a bit. I don't think they're going anywhere. And then we've got the high end in the Avatar system with the Fatshark Dominator stroke Avatar goggle. And then in the low end, we're going to have the new goggle from Fatshark, which is available over here, the Recon, which is on Rotor Riot's website, which is basically the Scout HDs with an Avatar receiver in it, from the looks of it. And again, almost all of the features of the Avatar with this new box goggle. The only thing it can't do is low latency mode. It's limited to the 60 frames a second. Both HdZero and Avatar are going to have a VRX module as well. So, look, you're going to have high and low end. You've got high and low end across the board. It's really, really interesting. Someone just asked, Peppermint asked about the V1s. The V1s are basically dead. The V1s are basically dead. There are limitations to what the V1s can do. Although, I do think DJI could do something. But I'll be talking about that in a few days. The V2s and the V1s can be routed as well, as long as you're on the right firmware. So it is interesting that you're going to have high and low end across the board. The only manufacturer who won't have a VRX module is DJI. But yeah, it's super interesting times. Super interesting times. Goggles 2 version 2. Sort of. Can't talk about that. The field of view and the degrees needed to be increased for digital FPV to be a leading system. Anything is possible. You know, there's a lot around the corner. And I think it's good times. I think it's good times. It's nice to see this new goggle, as Bruce just said. It's basically a Scout HD, although it's a different shell. So apparently there's 4 internal antennas on this, 4 patch antennas. It's got HDMI output, or no, well, USB via USB-C HDMI output, 1080p display, joystick, record button, back button. I don't think this is going to be using the same board. It would be interesting to see if it is using the same board as the other goggles. Just looking around them, I'm just looking at the layout of things. Let me just have a look. So, the USB-C port is here. Now, that's sort of side on. It could be the same board layout, you know, as the other goggle. They could have the same PCB in. And then I just wonder if they are using the same PCB. Are they just using a single display output rather than the dual display output? Because if we look on the avatar board, so if I go to repair.wiki, for those who don't know, I do upload stuff onto repair.wiki, including all of what you see here was uploaded by me. So if we look at the PCB, okay, this is the board that is in the avatar goggle. So you have your 2 displays here. Here, actually, let me get my mouse. Let me get my mouse highlighter working. There we go. So you got here. Go back. There we go. You got your display output here and your display output here. So I'm guessing they could just use the same PCB and just use one of the display outputs and reprogram it and just use a single one. I'm guessing that's what they might be doing. Quite interesting indeed. Quite interesting. Is there a way to add the missing power amplifiers on the V1 motherboard? You cannot make a V1 a V2. There's a lot more going on than just the power amplifiers. You cannot do it. The whole firmware stack is completely different. The IDs, there is a lot more going on than just power amplifiers. You're not going to turn a V1 into a V2. It's simply not possible. It is far more complicated than that. Whilst the boards are similar, DJI did relay out the version 2 board slightly. There's a number of items missing. But I do wonder if they're using the same one. Just looking on the images, the SD card slot is, again, Fatshark with the SD card. Really? You've put it there again? Really? Just why? Why could you not? Look, let me show you something, right? Here, anywhere around here would be absolutely ideal for the SD card. Anywhere here would be absolutely ideal. Anywhere you can see on this display. What isn't ideal for the SD card slot, and the one bloody place I don't want it, is there. I wish they would stop it. I hate the SD card slot space on the Fatshark goggles. It's just horrific. Literally anywhere else on the goggle would be absolutely fine. Literally anywhere else. It's the safest place not to be touched in use. I don't buy that. I've never had the SD card fall out of any of the goggles I use. Honestly. DJI can't talk, mind. Where they put the SD card slot on the Avata, they should be shot for that as well, to be honest. That's a shocking. See, let me show you something. Here's a nice place for an SD card slot. Imagine that. Look at this, right? I want to take out an SD card, right? Let's go. Ready? Oh, there we go. I've removed it and I can lift it out. Look at that. That's nice and easy. And then to put it back in, I just do that. Look at that. That's fantastic. Who'd have thought? Putting an SD card slot in an accessible place. But anyway, I digress. We do have a nice new set of goggles. When they're on your face. It's just, yeah. $279 for the Fatshark. I think that's okay. I think it's okay. I don't think it's great, and I don't think it's terrible. I hope it actually takes the same lens as the Scout HDs, because I need a new one. I scratched mine by accident. So I do need to speak to them about that. I think it's a good goggle. You know what? I really do think it's a good goggle. They've got a video on it. JB's got a video on it. The only thing I'll say I was a bit disappointed on the videos was I didn't, and it could be me, but I didn't really see any talk of what the image quality was like. I didn't see anyone mention, you know, it's good enough, it's decent. JB went over the goggles and then did he fly them? I can't remember. I watched JB's vid, and the only thing I was a bit disappointed in all the coverage I've seen, and I think we've only got 2 videos on these anyway, was like there was no comment of, you know, okay, we've now moved to a single 1080p display. Let me tell you what that looks like. I know it's hard to describe, but I would have just liked a bit of an opinion on it versus the OLEDs. I like the Scout HDs. I think the Scouts are okay. They're not great. They're not perfect. But the Scouts on the Fatsharks for the HdZero, it looks decent. In many ways, it looks better than on the OLEDs because you haven't got the HDMI and all of that stuff. I think it's okay. Yes, some people say you get doubling in the menus and stuff like that because of the folded optics. But I think it's okay. And I would like to see these for myself. I'm not going to order in a set. I don't think I can warrant right now spending $279 on a box goggle for Avatar. I've got the high end. I think it would be a hard one for me to justify right now. I'd love to take a look at them. Fatshark, if you're listening, not that you're ever going to send me a set after some of the things I've said about you. However, I would like to try them. I did like the Scouts. I thought the Scout was a great way to get into digital FPV, and I think this is as well. But I'm not sort of up for ponying up $279 right now. I haven't seen them in the UK yet. Has anyone seen any UK dealer pricing for these goggles? So, has anyone... I haven't seen it myself. I haven't seen if there's been... It might take a little while. I'm not seeing anything for them yet. And obviously for HdZero, we're going to have these. And we don't know what the pricing is going to be on the Emaxes. What I like is the fact that it also is going to act as an external display. I think that's fantastic. I hope it's got HDMI in. I think it's going to be decent. I think it's going to be decent, you know. And it's going to be interesting just to see that push forward as well. There's no pricing on these. But it's nice to see another manufacturer coming on the HdZero bandwagon as well. So we really do have the battle of the digital right now. It really, really is good. We've obviously got Avatar with the 2 VTXs. It's a good time. It's a very, very good time. Steve E, thanks for the heads up on the HdZero goggle pre-order going live. Order is in. Congrats. Well done. I didn't push the HdZero pre-order too soon, simply because I wanted to let the early adopters go in first, but it was good to see people get in. I'm waiting on my set as well. Matthias FPV. So do you think getting a V1 used goggle... sorry, let me rephrase that. So you think getting V1 used goggles are not worth it right now? No, I'm not saying that. I think the V1 is a good buy as long as you're happy with the current FPV system. What you have to understand with the V1 is you can't use O3. So the V1, you're going to have all the vistas you'll ever need available. You're going to have all the ear units available. If you're happy with how it is today, that's great. That's how it's going to be. Get on with your life. What the V1s won't do is give you future compatibility. The thing to understand between the V1s and the V2s allow forward support, the V1s don't. So what you've got to ask yourself is, whatever you're saving on V1s, is it worth it? If you can get V2s for like $50 more, I would be absolutely getting V2s if you can. But if it's $100 more, you've got to ask yourself, do you want that future compatibility with the O3 system? And it is going to put V1 goggles in an interesting place, to be honest. Someone wanting to get into digital, there's going to be some great deals out there on V1s. Mark my words, there's going to be some really good deals on V1s. You know, I would not be buying V1s today either. I would wait. The V1s will probably drop in price a bit in the next 3 months. If you just think about with the potential release of something else, with them not being compatible, you're going to have some limits. Hence the reason they don't work with the Avata. Oh, thank you, CB Runner. I really appreciate the super chat for $5. HD has been the future. Good to see it coming around. It will be like analog in it. It will be like analog in its compatibility in 5 to 10 years. Yeah, that could happen. That could happen. Nobody's talking about the fact that the new unit doesn't have low latency and high quality modes. The Avata drone doesn't have... The Avata drone has low latency and high quality modes. It is set by the recording mode you choose. As for how O3 works, I can't say today, but people should take that as their cue. So take the Avata. If you want to fly in low latency mode, on the Goggles 2, you have to record in 100 frames a second. So you are limited to either 2.7K 100 or 1080p 100. With the Goggles V2 on the Avata, you can record in 100/120 frames a second in 2.7K and 1080p. When using the V2s with the Avata, you actually get both 100 and 120 frames a second modes, but you don't get, but you still only get in low latency mode in the 100/120 frames a second modes. So there's no option on the Avata to select high and low latency. You get the latency based on the recording mode you set the unit to. Now, the lowest latency is like flying the Vista on high quality. That's not strictly true. The Avata and O3 does the same low latency as this system. So it's 28 milliseconds on the V2s and 30 milliseconds on the Goggles 2 when in 100 frames a second modes. Or you're up to about 40 milliseconds in the 50, 60 frames a second mode. It has exactly the same low latency mode, but it is highly dependent on the recording mode you set the aircraft to. That's how the Avata works. I'm on V1s now, and the only reason for me to upgrade is if the Goggles 2 become backwards compatible, if Goggles V2 become backwards compatible. The Goggles version 2 work... Goggles 2. Yeah, sorry. And look, we know that's being worked on. There have been leaks on that this week, okay? I can't say too much because I've known about some of this stuff in the background for a while. DJI V2 FPV. If I search for that and we click on news, there'll be a website here that posts something. Here we go. Drone DJ did they post this? Okay, so This image has been shared, okay? This image should not be out there with this. This image has no place with these images right now. That's the thing to understand, okay? This, and this has no place with that today, okay? That today has no place with that other stuff because it is not true. This may never happen. Just understand this may never happen. It might, but it may never happen. It's not fake, but it is not something that is anywhere near public consumption, as I understand it. You are not going to see this in the next 2 weeks. You might see that with that, but you're not going to see that, and that. This, though, is the potential future. But we will have to see. And the reason I say that, these, the V2s, do work with the A2, but DJI have never added it. But people are getting a bit confused. They're seeing this with this, with this, with this, with this, and thinking, ooh, all of this is compatible. It's not all quite the same. We're going to have to see. Billy Ocean, has anyone tried the new TBS Tango Mambo Gimbals version 2? No, but mine are being shipped. I have ordered both the standard V2 and the Pro V2 gimbals in. I am then going to try and get my hands on a set of the Pyrodrone gimbals, and I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on all three. Please move the Mambo before you knock it off. I like the Mambo. It's a nice radio. It's not the perfect radio, but I do like the Mambo. I wish I could have a Mambo with proper ELRS support, CNC gimbals, and yeah, that, please. Hi, Mads. I am a seafarer. I am planning to take all my analog budget setup on board my ship. I'm worried about video interference due to multipathing because of all the metal. Yeah, you could have some fun. You could have some fun. It's going to be hard. Digital would behave better in that world. Can I start from the beginning again? Cool Cat, how are you doing? Black Friday will soon be over. Can't decide. Do I have a Black Friday discount? I don't have any Black Friday discounts. I don't really cover the selling stuff side. Have I tried the Meteor 65 Pro New Vision? No, I haven't. I want to try the new CNC gimbals as well. Yeah. For those who didn't see, Trappy did. They did a live stream this week, TBS, where they said the gimbals were available, and I ordered them after that. So the standards and the pros coming. Ordered a set of both. That's the problem. All metal gimbals are being limited to 250 hertz. I only want 500. I don't really want 1,000. I just want 500. I like 500 hertz. Unfortunately, with the Mambo, it's a hardware limit, as people have now discovered. There's been a lot of talk about the Mambo on the ExpressLRS group, and even with EdgeTX support, you're not gonna get 1,000 hertz on this. This radio appears to be hardware limited as well, based on the sensors that are used, unfortunately. But I like the Mambo. I think the Mambo is the perfect size radio for me. Genuinely. For me, I think it's the perfect size radio. I am been seriously thinking about whether to even consider making a custom PCB for this, to redesign it from the ground up with new Hall sensors. So a custom PCB for the Hall sensors themselves, and then an ExpressLRS board. That would be awesome, but it's going to take some work. And then you've got to find out how you can get the display to work and all of that nonsense. But the Mambo is a great radio. I like the Mambo. I like the Mambo a lot. Cliff Field, 20 New Zealand dollars. Thank you for that. Thank you for your continued efforts here. Thank you for the super chat. That's amazing. So, we've got a lot going on. I'm going to put the Mambo there so it doesn't freak anyone else out. We've got a lot going on. We've got, as I've said, we've got all of these leaks this week about DJI. Something interesting, actually, in these leaks is this antenna. If we open this up, now, I don't know what's going on here. Genuinely, I don't know what's going on here. But we've seen on multiple occasions this being 2 antennas in one. Okay. Now, it is fair to say we know the V2 goggles were linear antennas as standard. We believe the Goggle 2 antennas are linear as well, not circular polarized. So it makes sense that this wouldn't be a circular polarized antenna. But I don't know. I don't know. Very interesting. Stacked elements. Perhaps it's a left and a right circular polarized. But I've not seen an antenna like this before. Bruce, your thoughts would be interesting. I don't know what they're doing. Polarity diversity. Interesting indeed. Very, very intrigued on that element. Dual band antenna. Yeah, but you wouldn't have the 2 outputs for dual band. No, the V2s are linear polarized. Not the V1s are circular polarized, left hand. The V2s are linear. Dual band linear on the V2s. Yeah, it's definitely 2 antennas in one package, but it's rather interesting, isn't it? Rather interesting indeed. We're going to have to see what that is about. I've genuinely know nothing about that. So we're going to have to see where that ends up. The recession antenna. Yeah. You can see here these leaked images. Not a great deal to see here. On this side, there doesn't look to be much. Oh, there looks like there's a... what's that? Yeah, it doesn't look to be much on this side. Note the braided cable. Quite interesting. Yeah, you can have... Yeah, the thing to understand with DJI, even though they're using linears, you've got 4 antennas and it's MIMO, multi-in, multi-out. Any losses you're having as a result of the circular polarization versus linear on the antennas, the goggles are probably making up for anyway. You know, technically there's a 3 dB loss. However, I can promise you it's not on these. If you had a linear antenna and a circular polarized antenna, yes, you would lose 3 dB. But that's not what DJI are doing. DJI have 4 antennas in an MIMO setup. 2 of them receiving at any one time with 2 of them transmit receive switch. So all of that, I don't think it's a massive difference, but it's just interesting. But yeah, you can see there. Not that much to see on that. So it is clear that the O3 is coming around the corner. Really, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens in the next few days on that. But it's definitely interesting times, you know, and actually going back to the day, we've obviously just around the corner from the Avatar HD launch for the VRX module as well. So that's going to be cool to see. Which is the preferred foam for the V1 goggle? Not sure. So little money to spend. Yeah, this is... And this... Look, let's be honest here. There is a potential for things to start spiraling at the moment. You know, living cost is going through the roof. There's no guarantee any of this is going to tempt people in right now. You know, the world is heading for a bit of a mess. And whilst there's a lot of cheap gear, it remains to be seen how long we're going to be able to, you know, sustain that for. But we are seeing prices come down. You know, you've got the Whoop VTX at 109 with a camera, which is cool to see. Very cool to see as well. Also, winter in the Northern Hemisphere, so most will put purchases off for at least another 4 to 5 months. Yeah, Bruce, I can understand it. Definitely. You know, camera prices have definitely come down. You know, the Walksnail Nano Micro camera from 54, which is quite good. You know, it's not a bad price at all. It's £59 for the standard camera. Walksnail's pricing is fairly okay. It's definitely getting close to analog for the quality you're getting. Wishing for a DJI 1S VTX. It ain't happening soon. Unfortunately, it's not happening anytime soon. So that's the digital news this week. A lot going on. Lots of exciting products. HdZero goggles is the big one I'm looking forward to. So we're just going to have to wait and see what goes on. Now, if you've got any questions, guys, please do put them in the chat and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. The next thing that happened this week, which I'm going to move on to a little bit, is this. And this is the release of ExpressLRS 3.1.0. So we finally have the release version. The big one here is this is now compatible with the new Radio Master modules. If you haven't seen, I've done a video on them. We did a full suite of testing on them as well. Really pleased with how the second video came out. If you didn't see, I did a second video on it as well on the other two modules. The Nano module, the Micro module, sorry, is coming out a little underpowered compared to the Nano, but overall they're really, really good modules and I've been using them in my radio. In fact, I've been using them in this. I've been flying the Mambo a bit for the last couple of days. I've actually been flying the Mambo while I'm waiting for some mods to happen on my T16S. I'm building up a T16S for permanent use now. I'm moving off the Zorro. I mean, it's a fantastic radio, but I like a bigger radio, but I don't like them too big. But I've been building up a T16S. I've removed some of the switches. Just give me a second. I've been customizing it this week on the overhead. So what I've done on the T16S, this is a version 1 because I don't have a version 2. I have replaced the 2 corner switches. They're gone. So we've got blanks on there now. That's my arm and disarm. We've just then got a message switch. I've then replaced the longer ones on the front with the shorter ones off the corner. So the corner ones are gone, but they were shorter switches. So I replaced them. So all of these are the same height now. That's what I like. I do like it that way. Next, I want to get the HdZero gimbals. We're going to put proper HdZero in this. And then I'm probably going to be using the main ExpressLRS module at the moment. I'm using the big boy on the back. There it is. The Ranger. We've got the up to 2 watts on the Ranger. Sitting on the back there. And then the plan is for this to be the daily driver once I get that done. But just a couple of little mods. And it's a lot more comfy. Now I've removed those switches off the corner. I got these blanks off Thingiverse and printed them in TPU. And it just feels a bit nicer now they've come off the corner. Prepared to carry 5 kilos of stuff as a daily driver. So, yeah, we're going to be using the T16. I'd love to get the internal. It's a shame they don't do a higher power module for internal Radio Master. I'd love to see a 1 watt internal module. That would be great. 2 watts, Bruce, for visual line of sight. Always, 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 always. But we have had the release of ELRS 3.1. lots and lots of changes and updates from the amazing guys who at the team over there. They've done some amazing work, so it's really good to see. Really good to see indeed. It's a big radio. T16S is a big radio. I'd love something between about Mambo size Radio Master. Radio Master, if you're listening, make us a radio. Make us a radio about Mambo size, please. Did I just unplug the switches? No. So what I ended up doing, Slattery, Tim, is I had to unsolder the switches off the PCBs. So the switches are on boards. T12 is Bruce, 100%. It's just a little too small. Agreed. So on this, I had to, on the T16, you had to unsolder the corner switches off the PCB, then unsolder the switches off the front PCB and swap them over. It wasn't much work. It was like half an hour with the radio torn down. It wasn't great work. TX14 sounds a nice size radio. A TX14 with full size gimbals, which accepts AGO1s, one 250 milliwatts ExpressLRS, a module bay, EdgeTX. 4 switches on the front, 1 in each corner, 2 knobs. Yeah, I'd be happy. I would be really happy. Yeah, you don't have to do anything, Tim. You can leave them and they'll just default to whatever center position. When you remove them, it defaults to center PWM. But what I did was turn them off in the hardware. I did turn them off in the hardware config for the radio. But if you leave them, so when you remove the switches, it just goes to middle 0 PWM. Or 1500, sorry. So one way is 1000, 1500, 2000. So it just goes to 1500. Or you could jumper it to go to one or the other. Yes, 2 knobs. Who doesn't need 2 knobs? I modded my DJI Phantom 4 controller to ELRS, and I love the DJI size. How did you mod your DJI remote? I want to see this. Have you got a link to what you did? I would love to consider doing that. So I'm guessing you just put an ELRS board in it and jump it over the gimbals. Or did you put Radio Master gimbals in as well? Because I know they fit. Will the DJI controller 2 be able to be used with the O3 ear unit? We'll know very, very soon. I'd like that. That's a big hot gluey job. But yeah, the frustration with the Mambo is it doesn't take any other gimbals. That's the frustration with the Mambo. You're limited to those Radio Master gimbals. It's a shame you can't get AGO1s in this. And then just do a complete custom radio. It's a good size. But you could, you could make a PCB. Like if we look at the Mambo, if we go for the Mambo PCB, right? I've got images of it somewhere, but they're disconnected. Here we go. So, images. So we got this image from this teardown. So there's an image here. I wanted to see the PCB with the Hall sensors showing. Anyone got them showing the Hall sensors? Does it look like it? Doesn't look like it. I thought I saw a Mambo PCB here. Aha. Here we go. We're being on eBay. There we go. So here's a Mambo PCB. Replacement mainboard Mambo. That's the back. That's the front. Okay. So opening a new tab. Let's get in a bit closer. So if we look, we can see the Hall sensor is there and there from the look of it. That's the Hall sensor. We can see that going down that side and then that going down that side with the bias in there. So you'd only have to sort of replicate this gimbal setup, wouldn't you? You'd only have to... I do wonder if you were really brave, if you were super brave, how many connections are coming off the Halls? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sensors on the board. Yeah, the sensor is there. That's the sensor. It's on the PCB. So the gimbal then has a magnet in its base that just moves around like that. And the sensor then picks up... Yeah, I see a truck. Then the sensor then picks up the difference in the magnetic field, basically. So you got that one there. And then you've got that one there. Yeah, it makes life easier, doesn't it, Bruce? Because it's just by the ones they're making now. Well, it'd just be you'd want and then convert it to ExpressLRS, but well, EdgeTX and then ExpressLRS. The question is, I don't know what sensor is used. I'd have to look it up whether you could do a total mod leaving the PCB. Open source PCB design for the Mambo. You wouldn't even need an open source. You could just do a hack job. You just could do a hack job. It's mirrored. Yes, it is, isn't it? Nicely spotted, type. It's actually mirrored. Yeah, they've just gone whoop over to that side. Boom, boom. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Yeah. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. Just crappy. Just tell Trappy what I want. He'll get back to me. Yeah, it's unlikely to bring me a radio with the ELRS. But look, I do like the Mambo. But yeah, it's a good radio. It's a good radio. So that's the news with the digital FPV systems this week. That's the news with ExpressLRS 3.1.0. Go check it out. I've got to do some updates myself. I need to update EdgeTX on my radio because it isn't working properly. What version am I running? What's the current version of EdgeTX? Does anyone know? What's the latest version? Where's the online EdgeTX online update? There's an online update for EdgeTX now, isn't there? Online tune for downloading and flashing. What are we on? 2.7. I thought I'm on Black Pearl. I must be on Black Pearl 2.70, I think. I thought I was on Black Pearl. Is it possible to put ExpressLRS on a DJI V2? Yes. No. Not on a Mambo. Not on a Mambo. Not on an Avata. 2.7 release, 2.8 is close from what I hear. That's cool. Wes, I assume the things we discussed were fixed in 2.7.1 because I think... Let me just scroll through. I think I'm running 2.7.1. Yeah, 2.7.0. So I'm running 2.7.0. Yeah, 2.7 for that. Well, I got 2.7 on here. Just to show you. This is just to show overhead. Something I was talking to Wes about. Let's just scroll in. So if we go return, system, ExpressLRS configurator. If you can you see what I mean? How slow it is? Where's on the polling, look. Just update. Where's it holding back again? Yeah, there we go. It's pulled in now. And then if I try change into F, oh, switch on the V1 isn't great, unfortunately. Now, give me there. Baud rate too low. Error. And it goes back to F500. So, yeah. I probably need to update then. Should we see how badly this ends? Crank the baud rate. Right, let's have a look. Oh, wait a minute. Is that the baud rate in the radio? Where's that? That's... Is that in... here? Let me just look. Let me just try finding it. Where's... radio setup? No. Let me just find... Is it under hardware? Internal RF. Border sits low and radio setup. Oh, wait a minute then. System, page across. Let's do this on overhead. So we want page across. Radio setup. Let's find where it is. Shall we? Where's baud rate? Depends on the EdgeTX. It was in the system's second last page. It could also be in the model if it's an internal module. Yeah, it's an external module on this. Right, so we've got radio setup. Let's go into hardware. So is it under hardware? Hard to see bass crossfire. Let's just see. It's got to be here somewhere. Let's have a look. Actually, it could even be under the model. Let's have a check under the model, shall we? Then... ah, yeah, it's down here. There you go. There we go. Found it. It was under the model setup. There we are. So if we now go back into system, ExpressLRS. Oh, that's a bit faster. Hey, there we go. Sorted. There you go, Wes. But no, we could. Should we exit? If we return. I can't remember what you got to do to update. It's been a while. Serial VCP. There we go. 2.71 radio model. If we go onto here, T16S, Radio Master T16S. Will this lose everything? Add device to get started. Ooh, T16 there. Is it that one? There we go. Start flashing. Oh, I need to DFU mode. Ah, God, I can't be bothered now. I can't remember. You've got to turn it off, and you. I can never remember. I can never remember. Haven't you got to do 2 switches? I can't remember. Haven't I got to do 2 switches or something? I just want it to work. There we go. Start flashing. Device could not be found. Oh, I can't remember. Can someone remind me how to put it in DFU mode? Is it the 2 switch thing? I can't remember. I'm going to have to find now. TX16 DFU. I can't remember. It's been ages. I never put these damn things in. 2 Burton trims inwards. Thought it was. And power. It's been a while. I always forget. I never update radios. Ah, see? There you go. I try not to update radios unless I have to, and I always forget. Here we go. If I lose everything, I'm blaming Wes. Right, so I'm going to come after you, Wes. If I lose everything... So if we then go to the desktop, start flashing. Could not create job, no device found. Damn you. Add a new device. Cancel, go back. Right. Backpill to Radio Master T16S. Flash via USB. Add new device. I wonder which one it is. Mystic Light. Westbridge? Let's try Westbridge. No, it's not that. That didn't work. I'm in DFU mode. USB connected. Or plug-in cable for mass storage. Oh, God. What we'll do. Let's do it that way, then. Run brick.exe. What we'll do. Let's do it this way. T16S. No, go back. Download the bin file. We'll then save it on the radio. Firmware. Put it in there. Click save. If I then disconnect... Right, firmware, and then now you can see on the display we've got 2.70, and then one of these, there we go, TX16S, version 2.71 bin, hold enter to long to flash, there we go. There we go, do it that way. Sorted. This can only end badly. I hate flashing radios. I try not to update, to be honest, unless I have to. I always forget with EdgeTX, OpenTX. I thought it was the 2 ones, but it's been a while. The Crossfire Light Module Nanos. 2x8, does anyone know? There we go, look. It says writing complete. There we go, over the top. Return to exit. Exit. Let the radio turn off. Let the radio turn on. Radio Master, multi-EdgeTX. Throttle warning. Cool. If we go into system, and if we go page that way, and yay, we're on 2.71. There we go. There we go. Sorted. Nice and straightforward. And if I just go into system and then open the ExpressLRS configure, oh no, I didn't. I was the wrong one. It's the only downside to the oh, that's better. Look at that. Boom, straight in. The only downside to the version 1 radio is this damn wheel is not great. I'll be honest. On the version 1, the wheel is a bit temperamental. It's much better on the Zorro, much better on all of the other Radio Master radios. The V1, this wheel was just a little bit of a pain in the ass. It was. But the new ones are great. I think it's absolutely fine on the version 2. I don't know if there's anything you can do to fix it. I think it is just the way it is. But there was an update for older radios, a new rotary encoder. Was there? That's interesting. I didn't know that. If there is, I might... So is that available then? TX16S rotary encoder. Was there a new one, Bruce? Was there? I know the jumper one was bad. The wheel on the Tiger 2 is pretty shit also. Yeah. It's always the same. You select what you want and you got to press it and then it goes down one. It's really frustrating. Really frustrating. Rotary wheel update. Is there a new update? Scroll wheel mod. Someone has a scroll wheel mod. Scroll wheel. Eel. Anything? Oh, there's a mod for it. Someone says. I have this issue every time. It's every time. You go to press the button and it goes down one. And it's like, really? Really? Someone's got a scroll wheel mod.
You use Google Chrome.
I don't know what it does. But this gentleman has a mod. Add friction to the scroll wheel. Okay. I found that stock was just a little smooth, resulting in missing steps while navigating. Okay, that's quite interesting. So RTRC is saying adding a little bit of friction. I've seen his channel before. He's just helps. So what did he do? Does he show? Here we go. Oh, he just added a bit of friction on the just to help. Okay, interesting. Okay. Oh, sorry guys, I thought I was showing it to you. So what he done is added a bit of friction there on the board just to make it a bit better. You all seen the new Nirvana? No? What's the new Nirvana? So, we've upgraded the radio. That's a win. That's a win. Right, guys, if you've got any questions, please do let me know in the chat. Let me go over to that one there. Chat live. Or just order the roller for the Mark II. Can you get the roller for the Mark II? Is that available? So do Radio Master sell the parts on their website? T16S accessories. So here we've got the accessories. So someone was asking me earlier about the board and the switches. Oh, right there. Someone was asking me about the board and the switches. So that's how they look, okay? So what I had to do was just unsolder it. That's all I did was unsolder it. Let's have a look. What can we get? What can we get? Can we get... It's looking so far, you can almost get every part. It's a screen. There's literally, the only thing I haven't seen is the damn roller wheel. Literally, the only thing. So right there, radio controller, T16S Mark II, accessories. So we want the accessories. There's some new glasses for FPV that JB touched on in his stream. Mike Boone, can you remember who made them? DJI, perhaps. So, let's have a look, shall we? I wouldn't mind that module. I'm not seeing the scroll wheel yet. Frustratingly. I'm seeing everything else apart from the scroll wheel. System... Ah, there it is. Mini roller PCB. Pardon me, my throat's going dry. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. My throat went completely dry. Okay. So we want that. Is that the same part that's on the Mark 1? T16 parts. Let's just see if it's the same part. Shall we? Interesting. I'm not seeing it for the first one. Is that compatible with the V1? I'm not sure, but I'm not seeing the board for the V1. So what I'm guessing is it'll fit the V2. It'll fit the V1. Better fit the V1. I might order one of them in. For the sake of $4.99, I may order one of them in. That's cheap as chips. I'm betting it's the same part. I bet it's exactly the same. No, you should be able to just up, Bradley, to 2.71. You should be able to just update straight. CRT FPV landing. How are you, my friend? Got 20%. Yeah, so I'm guessing that'll fit. You can see it's the version 2, so hopefully it's a better wheel. TX16S version. Mambo sticks are quite nice. I don't mind the Mambo sticks. They're not perfect, but they're okay. I'm looking forward to trying the new gimbals from Trappy. If you don't know, they're available on the website. Team Black Sheep. They are now listed. So I had trouble finding them. So I just searched for gimbal, not gimbal. So he's now... I did search for gimbal. That didn't work. Why is that not working? Try V2. V2 doesn't bring anything up. Gim. Tango 2 Pro. Here we go. Down here. TBS Tango Mambo Gimbal V2. That's the standard ones, which are $14.99 each. Gimbal, not gimbal. Yeah, sorry, it was me spelling it wrong. And then I ordered the Pro. Off the top of my head, what... Oh, under new products. I did look the other day and I couldn't see them under new products, but it might have been the website wasn't showing them. So if we go shop and then new products, I did look under new products. Oh, they're there. They weren't there when I looked the other day. So the Pro Gimbal, is it that the Pro Gimbal just has the folding stick? Is that the only difference with the Pro Gimbal? Yes, okay. I have talked about people talking about gimbal slop with the stick moving as well. I've never tried the Pro Gimbal. I don't know how true it is. Trappy did say on his stream that he was talking to Pyrodrone, and I can understand him being a bit funny with them. Quite interestingly, so if we go to Pyrodrone, they have sort of ripped off his design. And sort of someone did say, well, what is Trappy going to be able to do about it? Well, I'm not being funny, but Trappy could stop supplying Pyrodrone if he was not happy. So, he could do it. He could do it. You know, if he's not happy, he can just pull the plug. At the end of the day, he doesn't have to supply anyone. It's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if they've got them listed on their website yet. There's a reason Race Day Quads doesn't sell TBS products, lol. Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, he can do what he wants, you know. Gimbals. I don't know if they've got them listed on the website yet. No, it doesn't look like they have. I don't think they have. It was on Facebook originally, wasn't it? So if we go Pyrodrone, they did a post. There we go. So for those who haven't seen, that's them there. So that's their metal ones there. And there. No, they don't have them on the site yet. With the folding stick as well option. But yeah, we'll have to see how he feels about it, really. If you suddenly see Pyrodrone no longer selling TBS products, then we know how he felt. Yeah, I know he said he'd reached out to them, but I don't know how well that conversation is going to go. Is it going to be a case of you're going to need to give me 10 quid off each one or what? At the end of the day, okay, he can't stop them selling them as far as I understand it. But on the flip side of that, it doesn't mean he has to support it. Tis interesting how far they've gone to mold it. You know, that's a lot of work. And I want to see how identical they are. As in, do we think it's the same molding? At the end of the day, this is CNC. So TBS can't afford to pull a move like that. Trappy's an interesting character. A lot of people say, you know, there's comments that TBS have never got stuff in stock. Why don't they do this? Or why don't they do that? Or why don't they do X, Y, and Z? And they haven't paid for that, Bruce. Pardon me. And look, I don't know Trappy at all. I've had the odd message with him. We had about 2 messages when I'd said something bad and someone highlighted it to him, and then I just reached out and said, I'm the person that said it, by the way, or I'm the asshole that said that, and he just went, oh, so you're the bloke. And we had a couple of messages back and forth about the V2 gimbals, actually, but he didn't have any he could send me. I did say, look, if you got some, I'll buy some. I don't want them for free, but only now they become available. And I get the impression with Trappy, it's really simple. As long as he's making enough money to cover his bills, he don't care. He just really doesn't care. I don't think he's someone who wants to keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. I think he just wants to do what he wants to do. And could he make more money? Probably. Could he make better decisions? Absolutely. Does he care? No. I think he's happy. He's had a lot of problems in the last few years to deal with regards to the move. And yeah, I just think he's all right. I just think he's if he's selling enough, then he don't care. And if he cuts someone off, he'll cut someone off. I don't think he wants to be the richest or the most, you know, TBS to be the most big company in FPV. I think he just wants it to be what it is, and as it is, it is. Yeah, it's that simple, and you can't knock him for that at all. You really can't. You know, at the end of the day, they've done a huge amount of innovation. You know, I would love, isn't that the right way? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love Trappy to make an ExpressLRS radio. I would love to see TBS do it. You know why? I do like TBS. They are one of my favorite brands in FPV. I've been using TBS gear from the day I built a quad. I was using TBS gear in the early days of FPV, 2012, 2013, 2014. In the early days when we were all flying Disco 3s, with a gimbal on the front. Mine is over there, my Disco. In bits. I hadn't put it back together, but I remember building the TBS gear in the early days. And I've always liked their gear. I've got one of their little foam sofas here somewhere, if anyone remembers. I can't remember what it was called. It was to put your GoPro on to stop it getting vibrations. You know, I've got a soft spot in my heart for TBS. You know, that's a reality. You know, and I'd love to see them make ELRS, ExpressLRS hardware and radio. I'd love it. I would genuinely love it. Attention, the Radio Master roller is only the PCB without the roller. Okay, but in theory, I wonder if the new roller fits. Or the old roller fits. Anyone tried Superfly frames of the Synchrono train? Someone shared that to me on my Discord. Let me just find that before we wrap this one up in a minute. Let me just find it. Someone shared me something on that, and it looks quite nice. I've not seen it. I've not seen... let me just... let me just find... Someone put it on the chat the other day, that frame. I'm sure they did on my Discord. Let me just find it. Let's just... Oh, there it is. Sync FPV. Is it this one? Oh, God. Stop it. YouTube. Put it in the wrong place. Is it the Sync FPV frame? Let's have a look. Is it this one? Let's have a look. Let's go to the desktop and let's put this up. So this looks to be a new frame. I hope there's better images because that's all a bit blurred for me. It's all very well showing nice footage, but I want to see the frame. Okay, so do we see... Here we go. So here's the frame. Interesting color carbon fiber. So 2.5mm plates, 4.8mm arms. Looks interesting. 8mm carbon arms. Bottom plate. It looks okay. I'll be honest, I'm not sure I'm seeing anything particularly special here. It looks nice. It does look nice. It's just missing press nuts, yeah. You know, you got some nice plates. I'll be honest, my favourite frame at the moment is Chris Ross's AOS version 2. It's a cracking frame. Looks nice, don't get me wrong. I can see the protection on the front end looks decent. It's just the sharper you get. Okay. I'm guessing it's painted. It looks okay. I got nothing against it. Nice to see individual ESCs. That's nicely done. Looks cool. You know, I don't think there's anything against it. I don't think there's anything... Okay, that's interesting. That locks in on the top there. Okay. Yeah, I think it's interesting. You know, I'll be honest, I don't think there's anything greatly impressive there. I think if you look at frames recently that have really sort of not shook things, but frames that are memorable. You know, you got the AOS series from Chris Rosso, which are just fantastic. I don't care what anyone says. These frames are bloody fantastic. This frame is just amazing. It really is. I love it. I love it. It flies well. Great frame. What more can be said? Just what more can be said? There's also some other really good frames out there as well. iFlight are doing some great frames. But also, I think the one that really caught my eye was Grinders, Bot Grinders. You know, I think Bot Grinders was one frame where I thought he's gone all out. He's gone, you know, he's done him on his frame. You know, you can see a lot of sort of his influence in it, and it's different, and it's got those arms with these spikes. I think Bot Grinders is very interesting indeed. If for those who haven't seen it, I wouldn't mind ordering one in. It's not a cheap frame, but you're supporting the Botman as well, which is a great thing. In some ways, I'm just tempted to say throw in $20 if you don't need the frame, because, you know, it's a good, you know, it's done by Amagod, and it's a good frame. It's a good frame, but it's got some unique stuff. You know, there's a lot of frames out there now, and, you know, I'll be honest, one of my favorite frames I have is the Speedy Bee frame. It's just a good frame. Yeah, not such a fan of props in view. And that's the real nice thing with Chris Ross's frame. There's no props in view. That's the real nice thing with Chris Ross's frame. Apex doing some nice frames as well. Sorry, James. I think there's a lot of good frames. There's, you know, the problem is it's separating them off. The Speedy Bee frame's a good frame. I've never had an issue with that. I think it's one of my builds. I think my personal favorite at the moment is Chris Ross's. I just think it is. Just as a build frame, I think. Source ones, again, they're all good. Yeah, you know. I think what you got to start looking at, what do the frames bring to the table? So, okay. If you look at Chris Ross's frame, we've got the ultra-low vibration. You've got no props in view design. You've got a nice sort of dedicated frame. You've then got Bot Grinders, which gives like the ultimate basher frame. Absolutely solid. You've then got some of the iFlight frames, like the frame on the Nazgul, which flies just extremely well. And then you've got the frames from the likes of Apex, who've been around ages, doing some great frames as well. I think when it comes to then some of the other frames, you've got a lot in that sort of mid territory, which all a muchness of a muchness. I tell you what I really like about Chris Ross's, I'll be honest, it's the width. I love the width on this frame. I think it's fantastic. I need to find the sticker to go back on. I had to take the battery thing off. Where is it? The overhead. I took it off, and I don't know where it's gone. I took it off to finish the review because I stuck it on, and it's now missing. I don't know if I've got a spare one. I took it off, and I haven't got a spare. That's frustrating. I don't know where it went. Just looking at something. 1 second, guys. I do have a spare, but it's not for this frame. I took it off, right? And I just don't know where it's gone. It's bizarre. But I do have this one I could stick on there if I want to. I could stick that there. But it doesn't fit. It's not designed for this frame, which is frustrating. But I do have these. I do like that. I had an AOS one. I had to peel it off because I needed it, and it's just vanished. Technically, it should be stuck to something, but I just don't know where it is. It's got to be somewhere. Because I took it off with its adhesive. So it was like, oh yeah, I'll stick that back on when I'm finished. It's gone. Don't know where it's gone. But yeah, I do like... There's a lot of good frames out there. But the AOS 5 version 2 is it's It's a cracker, I'll be honest. Although I might be talking about another drone very soon that's as good as this. So, let's just read in the chat a second, everyone. 2 seconds. So, guys, first of all, okay, please do consider giving us a like. The frame resonance makes it invisible. I got a frame over there, but I can't show you it. Can't show you that one. Maybe later in the week. If you've got any questions, please do put them in the chat now before I wrap this one up. It's been an interesting week. You know, we've got the digital stuff. There's not a lot else going on than that. We're around the corner from the HdZero goggles. That's going to be super interesting. I can't wait. In fact, I've got to order in a rapid fire. They were out of stock. I don't know what the stock is like on a rapid fire today, but I need to order in a rapid fire receiver. Jesus, has anyone seen the price of a rapid fire receiver recently? Oh my God. I snapped a Preston Jetta. I snapped a surface mount resistor off my SpeedyBee F7 FC. It still works, hoping it was for the LED or something. If you could tell us where it is, David FPV, you'll know in a day or two. Jesus, 161 quid for a rapid fire. Oh my God. Fusion module, 134. I think I'll get a fusion module for 134 quid. Let's be realistic, right? What does the rapid fire bring to the table for that 30 quid, almost more? I'm not sure it does. I'm not sure it does bring a lot. That makes the Fusion a good deal. Just use the module like your Skies, and you can't control them, Bruce, though, can you? Oh, interesting Just Tech Guy things. So, if I want digital on the Baby Apex 3, what is the cheapest digital system with goggles or VRX with HDMI out? That's complicated. Today, the cheapest would be Avatar because of the November deal. The cheapest deal today would be Avatar HD because you're going to get the VRX module and the 1S VTX for $199. That is the cheapest you can get today. The Avatar deal is by far the cheapest you can get. Foxy, a wildfire module. Oh, Bruce, I'll check that one out. Do I have a version 3? So, the full-size V3. I have the full-size V3 the frame, but I'd have to have a look at the images. Let's go to SpeedyBee a second. Sync mode frame. We had a look at that just now. And Avatar is a better picture than DJI. Yeah, this is where things are about to get interesting. So, DJI FPV and Avatar does look a little bit better than DJI now. Current FPV. However, there's about to be another leapfrog. And the leapfrog, you know, if the easiest way to think of it is this, right? So this was DJI. DJI was here. Right? Avatar came in. Where's my Avatar gone? Couldn't find them. Avatar came in. behind DJI at first, but sort of leapfrogged and sat on the front of DJI here. However, something is coming. Something is coming that is going to change this. And it's going to be somewhere like here. Probably. And there's no one else in that gap at the moment. At all. And you ain't going to see anyone in that gap for some time. That I can promise. That's what is about to happen. Go look at an avatar. All you need to do is look at an avatar. Imagine you could buy an avatar DIY. That's all I'll say. That's what it will be. It's that simple, folks. It's that simple. Just go and have a look. You know, if you want to know what's coming next, go watch some avatar footage. Go get a set of goggles and get a set of goggles too and go fly an avatar. If you think that's great, then it's somewhere off the far left, Bruce. It's really simple. I've been flying all sorts, Bruce, Louis. Orqa Digital. Oh, the joke returns. Sorry. Sorry, people keep talk about announcing too early. There's announcing and then there's I've got an idea. I'm going to put some stuff in a glass box and show it to you. Look, I'm poking at the... Like, Orqa makes some great products. Like, on a genuine note, the Orqa goggles are very nice. I don't like the... I think the field of view is too small on the goggle pilots. I'd own a set tomorrow. I think they're a very, very nice goggle. But I preferred the wider field of view. I think the original Orqa ones would have been a better goggle for me. I tried them. They're very nice. They have some really nice features. The best menu system you've seen on a goggle. Lots of interesting features. The streaming didn't work properly, though, for me. It wasn't great on the phone, on the Wi-Fi. It played up. They're a very, very nice product. They are a very, very nice product. However, with regards to them delivering a digital system, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Mads Tech, can we go and have a peep at the Epson FPV glasses to see what you think? Be interesting. Epson used to make FPV glasses before. Have they released a new set? Because they used to work on the DJI drones in the past. Have they got a new set? I think people will be pleasantly surprised on upcoming pricing. The Epson Movios or something? I don't know. Have they released something new? Epson glasses. They had the BT350s, which were around for ages. You had these. That's no longer available. You had these. See-through mobile viewer. Have they got something new, have they? They've had... Movio BT35Es. They've got products from the look of it. But none of them are cheap, are they? Let's be honest. So what do these do? HDMI to USB-C, cutting edge display. So you're going to want 1080p, full 1080p, 579. USB-C connectivity, that's no good. You're going to want your HDMI. You're going to want HDMI. So do these ones support HDMI? No, they're USB-C only. Movio 35Es support HDMI, but 720p HD display. 720p. Not sure about that. Yeah, I'm not sure there's much. They've had them in the past, but I'm not sure you're going to find them compatible with much today. There is another set of OLED goggles that someone made. I can't remember who they were made by, but they were always seen as fantastic. A glasses manufacturer made them, if I recall. I can't remember who they were. They were always seen as very expensive and very good. Yeah, no, the Epsons have been around for a while, and there's another set by someone else. I just can't think who it is, which were very desirable, very desirable. I don't think it was Fuji. Zeiss. That's it. It was the Zeiss. Yes, it was. They were very desirable. I can't remember what the model number was. They were silly expensive as well. The Zeiss ones. But no. There's two that allows to get the battery on a strap. No, you're going to have to cut it and mod it. I haven't seen one made yet. I don't, Louis. No, I the only person I've seen is cut and mod. I've not seen anyone sell one yet. To be honest, you will probably see a lot more mods come in for the goggles too in the next couple of weeks now. Now they're probably about to get a lot more popular. That's what I'll say. You'll probably see like foams come and things like that. Right, guys. I'm going to wrap this one up. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched the stream. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's given the super chats tonight. Sean, thank you, my friend, and everyone else who's donated super chats as well. We will be back next week. There may be a lot to talk about next week. An awful lot to talk about next week. But there'll probably be a lot to discuss in the week as well. Stay safe. I will be back, hopefully same time, same place. Thank you to everyone who supports the channel, and I will speak to you all soon. Later.